So today we're going to dive into the really powerful stories of three young boys from ancient India. These aren't just any kids. Through, just sheer force of will, they each uncovered a truth so profound that it's been echoing through the ages.
I mean, think about that for a second. We always look to these wise, old sages for the big answers, right? But what if the deepest truths actually come from the young, from this place of pure intention? As we're got to see, their journeys reveal a choice, a fundamental choice that every single one of us has to make.
All right, so let's meet our three young seekers from Hindu mythology, Dhruva, Nachiketa, and Upamanyu. Now, their stories start in completely different places, but you'll see how they all converge on the same powerful realization about what reality is all about. First up, we've got Dhruva. He was a prince, born into royalty. But a really simple and kind of painful moment of rejection is what sets him off on this incredible path to find a place that's way more permanent than any throne on earth.
Then there's Nachiketa. I love this kid. He is the ultimate questioner. His story is defined by this unbelievably bold move where he goes looking for the final truth from the one person you'd think to avoid, Yama, the Lord of Death himself. Talk about courage.
And last but not least, we have Upamanyu. His name literally means firm resolve, and he is just the perfect model of unwavering devotion. His journey shows us how even the simplest worldly desire, when you pursue it with absolute, single-pointed focus, can lead to the highest possible spiritual awakening.
So, what was it that launched these kids on such incredible journeys? Well, you might be surprised. It wasn't some grand philosophical idea. For each of them, the whole quest was sparked by a very real, very personal, and honestly, a seemingly small desire.
Okay, just look at this. It's pretty amazing when you break it down. Dhruva just wanted to sit on his dad's lap, and that somehow turns into a quest for the highest, most stable spot in the entire universe. Upamanyu wanted just a taste of real milk, and he ends up seeking a whole ocean of it. And Nachiketa starts with a question and ends up demanding the absolute truth from death. You see the pattern? Each one took a feeling of lack in the world and aimed for its absolute divine fulfillment.
And this is where their stories become a guide for all of us. Because at a really critical moment, each boy gets offered an easy way out. A distraction, a lesser prize. But each one makes a really hard choice that completely defines his journey and ultimately is the reason he reaches his goal.
So, to really get their choice, we need to understand this key concept from the Katha Upanishad, which is where Nachiketa's story comes from. It talks about two paths. There's prayas, which is the path of what's immediately pleasing, the shiny, attractive stuff. And then there's Shreyas, the path of the ultimate, eternal good.
Let's break that down a little. The path of prayas is full of things like wealth, power, all the worldly pleasures. And hey, they're enjoyable for sure, but they're all temporary. They come and go. The path of Shreyas, on the other hand, leads to something that lasts forever, spiritual knowledge, and that ultimate freedom. It's really a choice between a good time and a good eternity.
Nachiketa is just the perfect poster child for this. The Lord of Death offers him basically everything: immense wealth, a super long life, even a divine kingdom. And Nachiketa just says, nope. He shows two crucial qualities here. First, viveka. That's the sharp discrimination to see that all these amazing gifts are temporary. And second, vairaja, the detachment to just let them go, holding out for the one thing that truly matters.
Dhruva makes a very similar choice, just in a different way. His version of choosing Shreyas was to perform tapas, this incredibly intense spiritual discipline. He could have given up. He could have settled for some lesser kingdom, but his focus was like a laser. He chose the difficult path of penance over any kind of comfort, because he was aiming for the absolute highest goal.
And Upamanyu, with his firm resolve, he also chose that harder path. His superpower was pure bhakti, or devotion. This devotion was so unwavering, so powerful, that it actually purified his simple desire for milk and transformed it into this profound search for the divine source of, everything.
So, you're probably wondering, what was the reward for making this incredibly difficult choice? Well, it wasn't just some personal prize. What was revealed to them was a vision of reality itself. A truth so vast it could hold all of life's complexities, all of its contradictions, all at once.
When the divine finally appears to Dhruva, the little guy is literally speechless. And in that moment of silence, he has this huge realization. It's not him who's about to speak, but a divine power that's going to speak through him. This quote just perfectly captures his awe. It's his first big light bulb moment. There's a single, supreme consciousness that animates everything. And his vision gets even clearer. Dhruva sees that the supreme reality is one, but it just looks like many different forms. The hymn he composes gives this beautiful analogy. It's like a single fire that appears as all these different flames when it's burning in different pieces of wood. The fire is one, the appearances are many.
Upamanyu's vision, wow, it takes this idea even deeper. His reward was a vision of Ardhanarishwara, this divine form of Shiva, who is inseparable from his consort, Shakti. This form is half male and half female, and it's the ultimate symbol of how all opposites, all paradoxes, can be reconciled in one unified being.
Upamanyu's hymn is just a masterpiece of holding these incredible contrasts. I mean, look at this. He describes the divine feminine, she, wearing fragrant garlands, while the divine masculine, he, wears a garland of skulls. She is dressed in these gorgeous celestial robes. He is dressed in the sky itself. She revives the god of desire. He is beyond all desire. Through his devotion, Upamanyu saw a reality where these opposites don't fight or cancel each other out. They just coexist in this perfect divine harmony.
So why does all of this matter to us right now? It's because the paths these three boys walked, they basically lay out a timeless spiritual roadmap. The virtues they practice are just as relevant for anyone on a spiritual path today as they were thousands of years ago.
So let's just quickly recap the playbook they've given us. From Nachiketa, we learn viveka, that ability to choose what's real over what just looks good, and vairagya, the strength to let go of temporary stuff. From Dhruva and Upamanyu, we get the incredible power of bhakti, or devotion, that's fueled by just a relentless, firm resolve. And the destination? The goal for all of them was the same, realizing that single, unified source behind all of life's beautiful and sometimes terrifying diversity.
Look, at the end of the day, these aren't just cool myths to file away. They are a practical guide. They frame a fundamental choice that you and I face constantly, in big ways and in small ways. The choice between the easy, pleasing path and the one that's harder, but ultimately so much more meaningful.
And really, that's the question these stories leave us with. In your own life, right now, what does that choice between shreyas and preyas, the eternal good versus the temporarily pleasing, what does that actually look like for you? It's a powerful thing to reflect on. Thanks so much for joining me.